Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still playing out this short-term warning signal, we're seeing a new Bitcoin pattern about to break at any moment now. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now retesting a critical level on the chart, while Solana is now forming a new pattern that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in this video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still potentially repeating history on the larger timeframes, because as of right now, we're still currently within a larger bullish trend on the larger timeframes, also known as a bull market. But obviously, just over the last couple of weeks here, in the shorter term, we've struggled around that all-time high level at around 69 to 70,000, give or take. And that 69k level on the chart right here, that was the old all-time high back in the previous bull market top. And so once again, this is the all-time high breakout level for this bull market. And if we're simply taking a look at the last bull cycle that we saw back in 2020 going into 2021, we can see a very similar thing happen. We can see the price of Bitcoin clearly in a bullish market trending to the upside, but right around that all-time high breakout level, which back in the last cycle was $20,000, because that was the cycle before that, that was the all-time high at $20,000. And so when Bitcoin ran up towards that all-time high, we actually struggled around that all-time high breakout for a few weeks here. In fact, for around 3 to 4 weeks, we struggled around that all-time high breakout before we eventually saw a major breakout to the upside to continue that larger bullish trend further to the upside. And so once again, simply based on history, this is very normal price structure. Once again, this is pretty much exactly what happened in the last bull cycle, right around that all-time high breakout level. And so just because we see short-term bearish price action here and there, of course, that does not necessarily change much here on the larger timeframes. In fact, that's very normal to see even during a bullish market. And basically, the moment we confirm a strong breakout above that all-time high level, so above around 70,000 give or take, with weekly candle closes above that level, so confirming a breakout, obviously we can see what happened in the last bull cycle. The Bitcoin price basically exploded almost straight to the upside over the next 1 to 2 months or so before actually seeing the next short-term correction. And so as I've been saying time and time again here on the channel, if we're seeing a 10%, 15% or 20% pullback, or even a 25% pullback from local high to low, those are very normal pullbacks to see even during a bullish market. And obviously just recently over the last few weeks, we saw another standard pullback of around 18%, which is basically very similar to what we've seen throughout this bull market so far. And so once again, when we're seeing short-term pullbacks of 10% to 20%, those are currently short-term buying opportunities as we've been seeing playing out throughout this bull market. And so just keep all of that in mind when I'm talking about smaller timeframes. Of course, that's different to larger timeframes. Once again, on the larger timeframes, zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, I'm still extremely bullish on the larger trend at play. And with that being said, zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, and obviously over the last couple of days, we've seen some weakness in this breakout to the upside. Obviously, we've lost a lot of that bullish momentum just in the short term here. But as of right now, we're currently trading within a sideways price range, or a sideways consolidation in between this resistance, which is sitting at around 71,500, and this area of support, which is sitting in between around 68 to 69,000. And so basically, if we see a confirmed breakout above around 71,500, above these highs right here, then in that case, I would expect to move up towards this area of resistance in between 73 to 74,000. But on the other hand, if we actually break back below around $68,000, then in that case, I would expect a drop down towards around $66,000 as the next short-term support. And in case you're wondering about my trading strategy right now, I'm currently still in that Bitcoin long position that I entered it back down here at the point of this breakout, which I said I would here on the channel before we actually saw the breakout. And so as of right now, that long position is still currently sitting in profits. And as I've also mentioned recently on the channel, I did take some extra profits off the table from that long position right there, right around this high just here. And on top of that, I've already got my stop loss above my entry price, which means in the worst case scenario, if we just dump back to the downside, that will trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in profits. And so as of right now, that is my trading strategy, just leaving that long position open and seeing what happens. Once again, if we dump to the downside, I already profit. And if we continue pumping, I continue to profit from that trade. And if you want to take trades just like that for yourself, personally I took that trade right there over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below to Bybit to make an account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can enter an exclusive Apple Watch giveaway just by trading crypto on Bitflex. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well get set up ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But anyway, if we're zooming into the 3-hour Bitcoin chart, as I've been saying over the last couple of days, we have a short-term bearish divergence, which means just in the short term here, as in potentially over the next 1 to 2 days or so. As I said, over the last couple of days, we should not really be expecting a lot of short-term bullish momentum, and instead we're most likely going to see either choppy sideways price action or short-term bearish price action as the most likely scenarios. And obviously, ever since this bearish divergence actually confirmed with a couple of red candle closes here, that's exactly what we've been seeing as expected just in the short term here. And this could potentially continue to play out over the rest of this weekend, considering we don't have any new inflows or outflows from the ETFs over the weekend because the stock market's closed. But potentially when the stock market opens back up again on Monday, and if we start to see more significant net inflows coming into the ETFs, then we could end up seeing another leg to the upside potentially next week if we're starting to see more inflows again into the ETFs. But once again, for now, just over the weekend, I do continue to expect this bearish divergence to continue to play out. And while this is playing out, we're actually forming a new ascending triangle pattern here on the 2-hour Bitcoin chart. And as of right now, we have this line of resistance, which is sitting at around 71.3k, give or take. And we have this line of support, which is sitting at around 69.9k, so just below $70,000. And basically, if we see a bounce from this level of support and then break out above that resistance right there, then in that case, looking at a technical price target for this ascending triangle pattern, that would set up a bullish price target if we confirm a breakout above resistance, sitting at around 75.4k. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about a possible 5 to 6% move to the upside if we actually bounce here and then break out above that resistance, which obviously right now has not yet happened. But on the other hand, if we actually see a confirmed break below this line of support right here, then in that case, looking at a short-term bearish price target, that would set up a price target at around 66.2k approximately. And so from the point of the breakdown to that price target, we're talking around, once again, a 5 to 6% move to the downside if we break this line of support. But remember, we also need to keep in mind other support and resistance areas. First of all, this area of support and that level of resistance, and also this area of resistance that I mentioned earlier. And so just for example, if we saw a breakdown on the 2-hour time frame from this pattern right here, we could potentially see a move down, but maybe not all the way to the price target if we're running into this area of support, for example. And the same thing could be said if we see a breakout to the upside. Once again, we still have that resistance to pay attention to. But with that being said, this could potentially be the next short-term trading opportunity with either a short position in the bearish scenario once we confirm a break below support, or potentially a long position once we confirm a breakout above resistance. But for now, we have not yet confirmed a break of either of these levels, at least at the time of recording this video. And so as of right now, because we have not confirmed a breakout from this pattern in either direction, none of those price targets are not yet confirmed because we have not yet confirmed the pattern. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can still see a lot of liquidity in the price of Bitcoin right at around $72,000. In fact, in between around 72,000 to 72.2k. And now, once again, we still have that short-term bearish divergence to keep in mind, which, like I said earlier, potentially over the rest of this weekend, we might not necessarily hit that level of liquidity, but potentially sometime next week, if we're seeing inflows into the ETFs, then we could take out that liquidity. And as for other liquidity levels here on the chart, we do have some downside liquidity sitting at around 68.2k and more downside liquidity at around 66,500 to 66.7k. But as of right now, those downside areas of liquidity are not as much as what we have to the upside. So once again, we're most likely going to take out that upside liquidity sometime soon, but potentially not on the weekend due to this bearish divergence now playing out. But anyway, taking a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, right now we're still hanging around that important area of support on the chart in between around 3.4k to 3.5k. And as for resistance on the weekly time frame, we still have a decent amount of resistance at around 4.1k and more resistance at around that all-time high level, which is sitting at about 4.9k. And just like Bitcoin on the larger time frames, we can clearly see that Ethereum is still in a larger bullish trend, trending to the upside, forming higher lows and higher highs on the larger time frames. And so despite what happens on the smaller timeframes in the short term, once again, we're still technically within a larger bullish trend when we're zooming out. And with that being said, zooming into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, right now the price is running into critical short-term support, sitting in between around 34.70 to around 35.30. And basically, if we see a confirmed break below around 34.70, that is the point where I'd flip a little bit more bearish just in the short term here, as in potentially over the next 1 to 2 days or so. Because in that scenario, we potentially actually have a short-term descending triangle pattern here with lower highs and horizontal lows. And so that could give us a short-term bearish price target down towards around 3.3k, and that's also the next level of support to pay attention to if we first see a confirmed break back below around 34.70. And so those are the levels to watch out for to the downside in the short term, but if we actually continue holding this area as support, then we still have resistance to pay attention to right here, which is sitting at around 36.50, and more resistance in between around 37.50 to 3.8k. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour time frame, we can see that right now and just recently over the last few hours, we've seen a retest of this previous line of support, which is now acting as new resistance. And so technically speaking, this is bearish price structure. Anytime where we break a level on the chart that was acting as support, and then we actually retest that level and reject from that level, that is bearish price structure. And so that's also known as a retest, which is an extra confirmation confirming the break to the downside, setting up that bearish price target for this pattern right here, which is sitting at around 30.30, so just above $3,000. But remember, between the current price and that technical price target, there's other levels of support to look out for, mainly sitting at around 3.3k and also more support down towards around 3.2k. And so before we even reach that price target, obviously we could potentially bounce at some of these other levels of support that we need to pay attention to. But like I said yesterday, either way, just in the short term here, we are actually looking a little bit more bearish than bullish just in the short term. So do not be surprised if we do see a little bit more short-term bearish price action. But remember, that is different than the larger time frames. As of right now, we're still in a larger bullish trend despite the short-term bearish price action. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 2-hour time frame, right now the price of Solana is potentially forming a cup and handle pattern. As of right now, we've already formed the cup and potentially starting to form the handle formation. But as of right now, this pattern is not yet completed or confirmed because we still need to see this handle actually continue to form by seeing basically a carved out handle and a move back up towards this neckline, which is sitting at around $199 approximately. And then in order to confirm this pattern, we would need to see a confirmed breakout above $199, ideally above $200, and that will set up a short-term bullish price target based on this cup and handle pattern, which would be sitting at around $217. And so from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's around a 9% move to the upside. But remember, as of right now, that price target to the upside is not yet confirmed, it's not yet active, and it's not yet in play because we have not yet confirmed a breakout above this level or even completed the handle for the cup and handle pattern. But this is a potential pattern that's forming right now, so it's something to be aware of, but nothing to act on, at least as of right now. And once again, if we do actually complete the pattern and then see a confirmed breakout, that could potentially be a signal to enter the next trade potentially on Solana. But once again, because we have not yet confirmed the breakout above this resistance, I have not yet entered any new trade on Solana right here. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video for those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.